getting stuff, that takes care of.
Okay.
All right, now, you got a journal entry, and I'll repeat this. Andy, you can type. You can type it in, use your laptop. But I'm giving you 10 minutes on the journal entry. Make sure you put the date. The date's August 20th. You write August 20th. What I want to do after high school. You've got to address this. Who, what, when, where, and why.
That's what my grandma always said.
Who, what,
Why do I have to put all that?
when,
You like me?
where, and why. Why you have to do that? Because you're in English, and the fundamentals of writing, those are the factors that you will always have to identify. Now, I need at least 5 sentences. Well, whoopee, if you look up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you're writing a sentence for each one of those things. Who is it? It's AJ. What is it? Law enforcement. When, however long it's going to take him to go through Clark State or wherever he's going. Where? Wherever he wants to relocate, maybe in this state, wherever. And then why, the last one, why does he want to do that? Question.
Isn't that an at symbol?
Yeah. It's just my way of making an and. Gotcha, big fella. I'm not losing you yet. Not magic. It's not magic in here. It's just fundamentals. I told Mr. R, nothing magic, just fundamentals.
What did he say? Did he start
He
laughing?
just laughed. Started laughing.
Will Mr. R ever come by and
Are
see
you,
us?
is this supposed to be on his?
Yeah, on his IEP, they got that. Now, 10 minutes. Let's go. 10 minutes.
What do you need Sharpie for? Alright, after you do your assignment, I'll get you a Sharpie.
I got an itch. Black one.
Alright. I shouldn't care enough talking.
What else do we use the restroom and stuff with?
We're only in here 20 minutes, big man. I can't be.
I got you.
Okay, so Anita wrote back. We're trying to fix ASOP and add the Career Center as one of our schools. We're working with Frontline ASOP to address this matter. If you need to take off, you'll need to put it into kiosk and then put no sub needed. Let Amy know so a sub can be pulled in place until she can resolve the matter. It's a good thing I said something, right?
I remember what Miss Schultz hated when you spelled I with the lowercase I.
Yeah.
What do you mean by what?
What?
Just what it is, big man. What? What is it you want to be doing? Specific. There you go.
I'm gonna,
Who, what, when, where, and why. Life in general.
Me, her, them, theirs, and because.
Alright, James, you need to be quiet, or you're gonna.
That's not me.
Okay, I'm gonna move you over here.
That's not me, that's AJ.
Okay, well, so I'm just telling you guys,
But I
okay?
don't know if he talk. I ain't
Because
talking.
you're being disruptive to some students in here that need to concentrate.
You're distracted.
Stop.
Stop what? You're distracted.
Okay, here's what I'm not going to have happen that happened Friday. It got so loud in here, it created anxiety on a student. All of you are on IEPs. It's my job to make sure the IEPs are complied with. So, I also have to make sure everyone's well-being is reinforced. You know what you gotta do, you stop talking, you stop making noise, you stop getting on other people's nerves. You focus on what you gotta get done.
You know, auto collision, you could be banking, Mr. Lacy.
Well, we've got other stuff we gotta do in English. You have to do it in your study hall.
I just meant like after, if they're not that.
Oh, yeah, I don't care.
I'm gonna put no sub needed, but any notice of sub called clerk. I'm sending that to them.
You know, Mr. R made 15.
You got about 4 minutes.
I'm hyper. You got a fidget?
A what?
A fidget?
Here.
Awesome. Keep it if you want, I got plenty of it. Just on that fidget wood.
It's going by faster now. We're getting actually getting after 8 in school.
Okay, Andy, if you need more time, that's fine. You can focus on it. Everyone else, what I want to do, you please open up your books to page 42. Now we're getting into the fundamentals of writing. So what I want you to write down in your notebook, it's important that you do not write in your journal, you write in your notebook empty sentences. All right? You're going to write down empty sentence, and then you're going to write down there are 2 kinds of empty sentences. The first repeats an idea from an earlier sentence or states one idea twice. So you're going to write this down in your notes. Empty sentence. Empty sentence. Going to write it. Then you will simply write down that. The first repeats an idea from an earlier sentence. Or states one idea twice. 42 42. The second thing you will write down. The second kind of an empty sentence
I'm just gonna put it over here.
gives,
That's my responsibility.
I understand that.
an unsupported, listen fellas, I'm not doing this for mouth exercise. You need to stay with me and stay on task. Gives unsupported opinion. But we'll be asking why. What they mean by that, don't write a sentence and end it with the reason why. For example, most TV news programs are second rate. That's your opinion. You're making the statement because you haven't given documented facts to support why. The biggest problem we run into with empty sentences, you just keep repeating yourself over 1 or 2 or 3 times. Then finally, you're going to look on page 43 in the blue bold print. Keep this in mind. You will copy that down. So that's on page 43. Copy the blue bold print.
Well, I just fill in my paper, you leave it on my computer, then it doesn't matter.
You shouldn't have your computer on anyway to electrical wiring.
I asked for permission and I just didn't shut it when we started working.
James, do you have this copied down?
Not at the moment. no.
Well, then you need to be working on that.
Well, next out.
She just did.
Well, you shouldn't have had it on in here.
Thank you very.
Just take points, because I mean, we're not junior high, we're not.
Yes, you're right, and I fuck up everything I try to do for myself.
Because that's what's going to happen if you just allow him to go on. He doesn't care.
I don't care.
So, you're looking at writing in the bold print. There are 2 kinds of empty sentences. One kind repeats an idea, the other kind states an opinion. First of all, what is the difference between opinion and fact? Ringo.
Fact, like, is stated,
It's,
well,
a fact is an actual event that happened.
yeah, like Gettysburg.
Right. You're talking about, say, United States fought against Hitler in World War II. That's a fact. Opinion, that is left up to the presenter. It's whoever is discussing presents a statement. Doesn't necessarily mean it is actual. I like Fridays better than Monday. Is that a norm statement that in which they have data or they have research to back it up? I don't know. It falls under an opinion because when I say it or when I write it down, I'm not supporting it with actual documentation. Now, when you start your writing skills, and I'm take our time as we go through this, the biggest problem with written expression, and that's what the state refers to it when you are having to complete so many language arts credits. You have to be able to write, you have to be able to read, and you have to be able to comprehend what you read. In order to do that, you have to have an understanding of word recognition, which is vocabulary.
I'm trouble comprehending.
So, brings us to the point we're at now. When you guys in the past would try to write a paragraph, what caused more frustration or anxiety to you in doing that?
Work.
Work, but why?
On writing.
Okay, so there's a lot of writing. You know why there's a lot of writing is because you are basically using energy that you don't need to use. There's a method to the madness with your writing skills. If you write complete sentences and you do not use empty sentences or run-on sentences, you're not going to be banging your head in the wall when the teacher keeps sending it back telling you it doesn't make sense. That's what we're trying to learn here. The first fundamental about writing is understanding what is a complete sentence. From that, you will turn over to 44, and you will write down avoiding pattern. You can go back and finish it. You will write down a padded sentence. So we have empty sentence, now we're going to have padded. So, a padded sentence is not clear and direct. It takes too long to get to the point. So what you're going to say here, a padded sentence is not clear or direct. It takes too long. That's the key word, too long. Get to the point. And tomorrow, I'm not going to throw any more to you. The most important thing is just make sure that we get empty sentence, the bold print on 43, and that into your notebook today. So what we are looking at now, these are the two methods that create problems for people when they're writing. They will either use an empty sentence or they will use a padded sentence. An example of a padded sentence would be, what I mean to say is that I agree. The book uses that when all you have to say, I agree, period. I am going to write about whales which are not fish but mammals. All you have to say to really cut through the fat, whales are not fish but mammals, period. What they are doing, they are teaching you to simplify. Some people think they have to have a lot of words to be a good writer. That's not the case. Quality in writing is much more important than quantity. Again, quality is much more important than quantity. Quality is small numbers, quantity is large numbers. All right, James, let me see what you wrote.
I didn't do it.
Let me see what you have. Okay, so he did absolutely nothing.
Not because I did nothing. I mean, I did like
Yeah, let me see what you have.
our journals.
No, these. Okay, good job. Good job. Nice job. Nice.
big man.
Oh. See, what do we write? Page 43, copy blue bold print, this. All of that, long old there. All right. Fellas, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I'll use that since we have a young lady in here. Yeah, you have to stay on task. Some of you get in here and you spend more time wanting to distract and disturb the class than doing your responsibility. In order for me to get through this material they want me to cover this year, I gotta stay moving. I'm going to instruct, Miss Pack. She's just going to record on the sheets to where some of you are going to be going back to the learning centers. If you don't change your ways, or something that has to be ironed out, because if you can't handle what you've got to do, there's no use you being rewarded. We okay on this stuff today? You did your journal entry. We started understanding how to take care of fundamentals in writing a sentence. So that's it.
Except for one about reason also, I need to go over there and get my history for it.
All right, we just got an email that hoodies cannot be worn in the building. If you have a hoodie, you're supposed to take it off right now.
I talked to Mr. Miller, he said just don't wear it tomorrow, but I can finish wearing it Thursday at 8.
Okay. We just got an email about it.
Why didn't I wear a jacket?
Oh, stupid.
You're allowed to wear a jacket, just
It has
have
a hood. You can wear a sweater, but you can't wear something that has a hood.
Have they talked to you about your dress attire as well, Lorraine?
Especially,
I'm out of contact.
huh?
It's not there yet. Some of us haven't gotten ours.
You don't have to wear
If-
uniform until the
okay.
28th.
If they don't have their uniform, they're supposed to be sent to ISD, to see Miss Tammy, and she will give you a pass, giving you permission not to wear your.
That's for seniors.
Well, they said we don't have to wear
Yeah, they
uniform.
said,
That's
yeah,
for
that's for
28th.
seniors until the 28th.
Well,
After the
and
28th,
actually-
then we get
If you're a
it.
senior, you have to wear it.
Actually, they're, in a program, so their morning teachers should be taking care of that.
Yeah, but we ain't
So-
got our uniforms yet.
Correct,
Oh,
that's
I
what I'm
can't
saying. Yes, sir.
Take your uniform. I see you.
I looked at my
Okay, you're
The
fine.
FBI
Alan?
walking in.
I don't know, this is an option.
Narcotics.
You'd like to sit on this side of the room where it's a little quieter every day?
Yeah, that's fine. I can do it.
Okay, why don't you do that, because this side of the room's a little quieter, and that might help you concentrate a little better.
You know how to step his wheels on. I have jaws for
Well, here's the bottom line, what she's saying, but I'm not going to be fielding phone calls about parents being upset because their child is being distracted or someone's being obnoxious by being loud in the class. I'm telling you that right now. The student is trying to
That
learn.
wasn't appropriate.
I don't even know what he's.
He said, screw you, AJ.
Because AJ's getting on me.
I'm gonna tell you right now, if this behavior is going on out in your labs, you're not gonna make it.
AJ's not going on my lab because I actually like my lab. Right.
Well, this is part of your labs, okay?
It's
Because
not.
if you can't be successful here, there's no school bus going over to the Learning Center half a day.
That's our switch bell.
Okay, but how am I? How is this part of my lab?
I gotta go get mine.
Oh,
I'll be back. That was our switch bell. I gotta grab my
You'd be good, big man.
I'm a little disappointed in you. You know what?
yeah.
You got a lot going for you.
My test.
History, that's
Okay.
that there is.
This is English, right? So this is, the blue one is on the book, no, this one is on the.
For language, English?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have my history on there. Well, there's your own. I have plenty more on back there.
Okay. So you know what? So I'm gonna put that here. You can just get it.
Yeah, that way I don't have to get back and forth now. I wasn't taking her back and forth, so we're now like, we're back now.
Correct. I'm gonna run over here.
Okay. History. history at its finest.
Supposed to. What do you want with these English books?
You gotta
Oh,
go
I
from
see.
the top. AJ, can you take the English books if you would, please?
Now,
Excuse me, sir.
giving everyone a review sheet. This way you don't have to write it down off the board, but this would be the key information in the unit. We look at the words in the word bank. AD, BC, bison, bronze, culture, humanity, nomads, pottery, stone, stone age. These would be the words that would be going in, or would be the correct answers. So, I'm now going to give you the correct answers, but it's up to you to match them up. For number one, the earliest people were blank, who traveled from place to place. That would be nomads. Nomads. 2, these first people used blank tools which did not decay or rot. Stone. S-T-O-N-E. 3, we call the period in which these people lived the Stone Age. Stone Age. 4, later these people mixed copper and tin and made bronze. A lot of their tools were made from bronze. Bronze is durable, it will last in the cold, the heat. 5, they also developed blank in which they could store their food. That would be pottery. P-O-T-T-E-R-Y. 5 is pottery. 6, in their cave paintings, we find pictures of the blank or buffalo which they hunted. Bison. 6 is bison. B-I-S-O-N. 7, many people used a calendar based on the birth of Jesus Christ. They call the time before his birth BC. 8, these people refer to the time after the birth of Jesus Christ as AD. 9, the ancient people had a blank, for they had customs, languages, and values, culture. 10, sometimes we study the history of blank or the whole human race, humanity. So number 1 is nomads. Number 2 is stone. 3, Stone Age. 4 is bronze. 5 is pottery. 6 is bison. 7 is BC. 8 is AD. 9 is culture. And 10 is humanity. Go to the comprehension multiple choice. A newspaper written in 1864 would be a blank source if we were studying the Civil War, the United States. The war took place between 1861 and 1865. That would be A, primary. Primary is before. 2, a newspaper article written today about the Civil War would be secondary. Why? Because it's being written after the fact. 3, a scientist who studies the remains of early people is what? C, archaeologist. 4, tools and weapons are examples of blank which human beings make. B, anthropologists. Or, yeah, 4 is B, artifacts. Yeah, B is the wrong one, artifacts. And then 5, prehistory is the period in which people did not produce what? C, written records. During the prehistoric days, the days of the nomad, BC times, we had no forms of communication. Now, next up, comprehension, understanding the main ideas. What is a primary source of information? You would say a primary source is a first-hand account. It is a diary or letter. A primary source is a first-hand account. It is a diary or letter. Two, why do historians interpret or explain history differently? Why? Historians are people, and people differ. What they write differs as well. So, historians, and it's like I've told you guys over and over about history. World history is no different than American history. People that study the prehistoric times, or people that study the makeup of the Middle East, they're going to view different happenings separate from other historians. So that's why history's so important. 3, how does the study of history help us to better understand the present? The past can help us understand the present because many events like revolutions, disasters, will happen again and again if we allow them to happen. Again, if you do not learn from a mistake, what's the chances of you making that mistake again? For example, if I run a stop sign and get hit and have $500 some of damage done to my car, I got to pay for it. Month goes by. Let me ask you this, AJ.
Please excuse the interruption. Adam French, please report to the main office.
Would you run a stop sign again if that happened to you? Probably not. If I'm in a car wreck because I ran a stop sign, I'm going to become very, very conservative on running stop signs. So it's just the way your mentality, history's the same way. We go down and we look at critical thinking. John Tate. Some people think that farming was the beginning of civilization. Do you agree with this or not?
Yes.
Why? I agree. There's several ways you can look at this, but he's right. Farming was the beginning of civilization because without farming, we have no food. If we have food, that means we're gonna have groups of people around. And from there, people started making decisions about self-government. So that's where that's coming from. 2, AJ, what would your life be like as a Stone Age human being? How would you live? What would you eat? What tools would you have? Be a cave dweller. Well, then you would, one, have a very hard life. You'd have to hunt down your food. You'd move from place to place. You'd be living in a cave that is cold. You'd be eating raw meat because at the time they did not have fire. Their stone tools did the job for them, but when they broke, they had to work hard to make new tools. That's why the life expectancy in the Stone Age was 18 to 22 years of age, and then they were gone. They'd either die from starvation, or they'd die from disease, or they'd die from another individual killing them. Now, this is what I want you to do for me now. I want you to turn to page 50 in your book. All right, you don't have a book, do you? All right. This is what you're going to answer for me. I'll write it up here. Tell me what you know about the Stone Age. I just want to know what you can understand concerning the Stone Age to our time. By that, tell me, how does the Stone Age build, how has the Stone Age prepared and turned our society into what it is today? So you're telling me, what influence did the Stone Age make on you, in your own words? Oh, it did. It definitely did something. I just want to see if you can think of some of the things that it did. The Stone Age played an impact on everybody in this room in different ways. I'll give you a hint. Well, there's several, but one of them is your biological makeup. Stone Age played a role in the evolution of your development. From one individual to another individual, but there's other means. Just think, what are some things they did in the Stone Age that we are doing now? The only difference is we have improved it.
Oh, yeah. So I got a hold of this dress code, and it says here, flip-flops, shower shoes are not allowed. Sweatpants not allowed, shorts not allowed. But we'll, and I gave them some next door to send home today. They would, they have this program where they'll provide some shoes to.
I think even there's no weird word.
Are you? Okay. There's a thing, shoe for the shoeless, that goes around once a year and gives kids free shoes. if they
I used
can't
to do that all
afford it.
the time.
Did you? We'll have to, I'll get you signed up.
I don't want in that program though. I got
Right.
plenty. Okay, what are some of the things you've come up with? Anyone need a couple more minutes?
Dress code.
It's not coded in.
They say anything about sleeveless shirt?
Yes.
Really?
I didn't feel like wearing my other shirt. No, but these are the only shoes I got, so I'm going to continue to wear these slides.
So what do you wear when you have to do football practice?
Cleats.
So I'm gonna wear cleats. I'm gonna wear cleats to school.
Can't wear cleats.
You don't have any tennis shoes at all?
I'm bored.
I'm gonna call your mom. Actually, Mr. Ackerman talked to your grandma.
That's cool. She's actually very cool.
She's a very nice lady. Very nice.
She's like the roller in her house. Oh wait, Mary, you want to hear this?
got one set up for me.
My grandpa, he was good. My grandma, she really don't care.
I didn't even know my grandma anything.
None of my friends like
Bruh,
the adults in my
my
family,
grandma
none of them like me smart.
Was mad because my best friend called me out. But that's because you don't know. Like, oh my God, he's like,
I don't work out.
How do you have a 6-pack?
Because that's actually my grandpa had the same thing.
but my grandma gave me one, she gave me a prostitute, and she found me.
Okay, here's what you're going to say for number 1. You're going to write down communication. By the way, write the statement down because I'm coming around the room to see who's doing it and who's not.
Really?
Got communication. You're going to have transportation,